We're now up to our CEO Sit-Down, the segment on our program where we turn to a local prominent CEO to tackle a topic in business. Today, Rob Basso, the owner of Advantage Payroll Services, joins us. Rob also has his own blog, BassoOnBusiness.com, and he's an established business speaker. We're happy to have you on board with us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so today we're talking about integrity in business. How would you define integrity?
I think the best way to define it is to be a promise keeper. When you promise something to somebody in the marketplace, whether that's a good service, whether that's a simple telephone call back, or a promise to meet them for lunch or breakfast, really mean it. It's the little things that you do in business that make you have a tremendous amount of integrity.
I think a lot of people go into business wanting to maintain that integrity, wanting to be ethical, but down the road, they travel down the slippery slope and they lose it. How do you fight that temptation?
It's real easy to say that you can do things that you're really not capable of doing to try to get a piece of business or get someone to really be on your camp. But the truth of the matter is it's really the worst thing you can do, because success comes and goes, but integrity is forever. Once you lose that in the marketplace, it doesn't matter what your product or service is if people can't trust you.
So what's the difference between a little puffery, making yourself perhaps seem a little bigger than you are when you're first starting out, and let's say saying something, a white lie, that can really get you into a big mess?
I'll give you that by way of example. When I first started my business, I was actually printing checks in a basement storeroom with my mother. Now, if I had told people that I was actually doing that, how many people would do business with me? But here's the thing, I still fulfilled the promise. I got people's paychecks delivered on time, I was professional and courteous, and the delivery got there when it was supposed to. So it didn't really matter. It was a lie of omission. I consider that okay when you're first starting out in business. Pretending you're a little bigger than you are. I mean, think about it. They even have phone systems now that are automatic, where it sounds like you're working for this big corporation and it's you at a desk in your house. It's perfectly fine for stuff like that.
So just make sure that you don't promise things you can't deliver.
You do not want to. You do not want to be the one known in the marketplace for someone who says something and can't deliver it.
You may have integrity, but you can lead by example and show your employees that. But how do you really instill that as part of the work culture of your business in your employees?
I just think that's being a good leader. It's listening and understanding the plight that they have. Because you look at my organization, I have about 50 people that work for us, and I don't do what they do on a daily basis. I'm busy guiding the company here and there, so I spend a lot of time with my staff members on an individual basis to see what it's like to be in their position. If you can put yourself in their shoes and really learn what they do on a day-to-day basis, it makes a big difference, and they really appreciate it.
They say that your employees are everything. They can make or break you. How do you determine integrity during a job interview?
Well, I think it's listening. The big thing is you have to have great listening skills. Consistency in what they say, the pace and rapidity at which they speak makes a big difference, because if someone's generally relaxed, they'll be speaking in their normal tone, they'll be speaking at their normal speed. You almost have to be a psychologist to figure out, are they telling me the truth? You have to look at their resume. Did they conflict with anything that they said with their resume? Where did you get this referral from? Talk to the referral source. If you got it from a friend or a relative or a colleague, see what you can find online. Go and look at their social media to see what are they putting out there for the world to see. I still can't believe it. In this day and age, people put ridiculous things on their social media and they think employers aren't looking. Let me tell you, they're looking. You have to clean it up. If you want to have integrity and you want that job, make sure your social media is clean.
Okay, so let's say you've hired an employee and they've been a little less than truthful as they've been working for you. Does it depend on the situation? Do you give them a pass, or do you think that that really sets a precedent for what's to come?
I think it's really hard to go back after you've done your initial investigation and say, by the way, 6 months later, you're doing a really good job, but I didn't like that this happened when you told me, you worked at such and such place. I think you can bring it up to an individual, but if they're doing the job that they're supposed to do, it's going to be very difficult, because there's all kinds of rules and laws about how you can let somebody go, the reasons. Lying on your resume is one of them, but I find that most small business owners and entrepreneurs let the things slide that they might not, that they shouldn't let slide. I wouldn't let it slide, but some people would.
And in our final seconds, most important takeaway.
Most important takeaway is the old adage that you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And I know it sounds silly and trite, but the truth of the matter is you need to be who you are in the marketplace and be nobody else. And that's really what I've tried to do with my career.
All right, great. Thank you so much. There is much more Money on Main Street straight ahead. Stick around.